Chosen ones, welcome. You're here because you've felt it deep in your soul, the weight of being misunderstood. It's as if the world sees you, but they don't really see you. You radiate positivity, kindness, and truth, yet somehow there are those who will twist your light into something it was never meant to be. They paint you as the villain in your own story, even as you walk in the light. It's time to face the truth. This happens because you are different. You are a chosen one, destined for greatness. And while your uniqueness is a gift, it's also a challenge. People in their insecurity often fear what they cannot understand. They fear your light because it exposes their shadows. And when they can't stand in their own light, they will try to dim yours. But what they don't know is that this is part of your path. It's part of the divine plan. This struggle, this distortion of who you are, is merely a reflection of the deeper work you are meant to do in the world. So, chosen one, as we dive into today's message, remember that this is not a story of victimhood. This is your story of empowerment. And as we begin, I invite you to leave 77 in the comments below. Share your own journey of being misunderstood, of facing the false narratives others have created about you. Together, let's create a space of understanding, unity, and strength. The origins of misunderstanding. The root of all misunderstanding begins in the heart of insecurity. Those who attempt to misrepresent you, those who twist your actions and words, are not truly reacting to you. They are reacting to their own fears, to their own inability to see their worth. People who feel threatened by your light will always try to turn that light into something dark, something they can control, something they can manipulate to preserve their fragile sense of self. You've likely encountered this in different forms. In the workplace, where your success is downplayed, your contributions are minimized, or in social circles, where your positive influence is painted as self-serving. What they fail to realize is that your achievements, your very presence, isn't a challenge to them. It's a reflection of the possibilities that lie within them if only they would face their own fears and rise to their own greatness. But many cannot see that. Instead, they choose to project their insecurities onto you, casting you as a villain in their own narrative. People fear what they don't understand. They fear being outshone, overshadowed, replaced, and so they take your brilliance and distort it, hoping that by making you the villain, they can protect their fragile sense of self-worth. This is not personal. It never was. It's about their own limitations and the uncomfortable truth that your light forces them to confront what they have yet to awaken in themselves. Your journey as a chosen one has always been about transcending these projections, about learning to stand firm in who you are, regardless of the false narratives others try to weave around you. This is where your power lies. The more they try to make you the villain, the more they expose the truth of your divine mission. But there's something deeper at play here, something that must be recognized. The role of the villain in your story. Chosen ones, it's time to embrace a radical truth. You are the villain now, and I say this not as a curse, but as a divine truth. The world needs a villain in every story, and it is time you recognize that in the eyes of many, you are that villain. But this is not a role to be feared. This is a role to be embraced. The label of villain is nothing but a projection of others' fears and insecurities. It's an attempt to place you in a box that they can understand. The villain is the one who challenges the norm, the one who stands against the status quo, the one who does not conform to what others believe is right. And you, chosen one, are not here to conform. You are here to transform. When you are labeled as the villain, it's a sign that you are breaking free from the chains that bind others to mediocrity, to the smallness they feel comfortable in. You are awakening something in them that they are unwilling to face. You challenge their limitations, their comfort zones, their false narratives about what life should be. It is in this space, this uncomfortable place of being misunderstood, that you find your true power. The world may call you a villain, but in reality, you are the catalyst for change. You are the disruptor, the one who shakes up the foundations of a world that has long been asleep. And yes, you will be judged, criticized, and vilified for it. But this is part of the divine plan. You cannot rise to your full potential without facing this opposition. So, chosen one, I encourage you to stop running from the label of the villain. Own it. Wear it as a badge of honor. Let the world misunderstand you, for in their misunderstanding, you are doing your sacred work. They will try to define you by their limited perspectives, but you know the truth. You are not the villain. They are simply afraid of your greatness. Now is the time to fully embrace this role, for it is only when you fully step into your power as the villain that you will unlock the next level of your journey. Your power is not in hiding, it's in being seen in your truth, even if that truth is misunderstood by the masses. So, as you step into this divine role, remember that every villain is simply a hero in disguise. And you, chosen one, are the hero the world has been waiting for. Facing the projections, understanding the root of fear. Chosen ones, as you continue on your journey, you will encounter projections, those projections that others cast upon you, intentionally or unintentionally. These projections are the mirror images of their own internal fears, insecurities, and desires. They do not come from your truth. They come from the false beliefs and projections that others carry within themselves. When you're placed in the role of the villain, remember that it's not really about you. It never was. It's about the person who is casting this judgment, their inability to confront their own limitations. People who project negative traits onto you are essentially trying to deflect attention away from their own shortcomings. They feel powerless, so they look for someone to blame, someone to vilify, and that person often ends up being you. As a chosen one, you stand as a reflection of what others are too afraid to see in themselves. Your success, your unique abilities, your wisdom, these are all reminders to others of what they have not yet unlocked in themselves. This can create deep feelings of inadequacy and fear. And what do people do when they feel afraid? They project their fears onto others. They create a villain out of someone who has done nothing but stand in their truth. So the next time someone projects onto you, take a moment to pause. Do not react from a place of anger or frustration. Instead, recognize that this is not your battle to fight. Their perception of you is a reflection of their internal struggles, not your reality. This understanding will free you from the weight of their judgment, allowing you to continue walking your path without being weighed down by false narratives. It's important to remember that when people fear your light, they may try to suppress it in many ways, by spreading rumors, making false accusations, or simply refusing to acknowledge your worth. Their fear of being overshadowed drives their actions, but in the grander scheme, their attempts to silence you are futile. You cannot be dimmed because your light comes from a source much greater than anything they can take from you. Your task, chosen one, is to stand firm and strong in the face of these projections. Know that you are not the villain in their story, you are the hero in your own. And it's only when you fully understand the root of their fear and projections that you can rise above them, untouched by their attempts to bring you down. The illusion of power, how to break free from the false narrative. Now that you understand the projections of others, let's dive deeper into the illusion of power that people attempt to create by vilifying you. This false narrative is not just about you being misunderstood. It's also about the power that others believe they hold when they twist your story into something negative. They think that by diminishing your worth, by turning you into the villain, they can maintain control over their own sense of self. What they fail to realize is that their power is an illusion, a temporary mask that covers up their own insecurities. It's not real power. True power lies in self-awareness, in understanding that your worth is not determined by the opinions of others, but by your connection to your divine purpose and your inner truth. People will try to make you feel like you are powerless in the face of their criticism, like you are helpless in the face of their negative projections. But do not fall into this trap. This illusion of power is nothing but smoke and mirrors. They may try to control your narrative, but they cannot control your reality unless you allow them to. True power comes from the freedom to be yourself, unapologetically. It's about knowing who you are, regardless of the opinions or judgments of others. When you embrace your villain era, you are breaking free from the chains of others' expectations and reclaiming your sovereignty. You no longer seek approval from those who cannot see you for who you truly are. You no longer fear their judgment because you have learned to see their projections for what they truly are, a reflection of their own fears, not your truth. Breaking free from this illusion requires you to go deep within yourself, to align with your soul's purpose, and to trust that you are walking the path that was meant for you. You do not need validation from others because you are already validated by the universe. You do not need to prove anything to anyone because your existence is already a testament to your strength, wisdom, and divine power. So when the world tries to impose its false narratives on you, when they try to make you feel small, remember, this is just an illusion. Your true power lies in your ability to stand tall, to continue moving forward with courage, and to let go of the need to explain yourself to those who will never understand. You are powerful not because of what others think of you, but because of who you are at your core. And that truth can never be taken away. Embracing your role, transforming the villain into a hero. Chosen ones, here is the most crucial part of your journey, learning to transform the role of the villain into that of the hero. At first, you may feel that being misunderstood, being vilified, is a heavy burden to carry. But I am here to tell you that this burden is, in fact, your greatest gift. When you embrace the role of the villain, you also embrace the possibility of transformation, the transformation of your own identity, your power, and your legacy. The world may call you a villain, but in truth, you are a disruptor, a catalyst for change, a warrior for truth. You are the hero of your own story, and the villain's role is merely a disguise, a temporary label that cannot define you for long. The more they label you as the villain, the more you transform that narrative into one of empowerment and strength. Understand this: the villain is not a powerless figure. The villain is often the one who challenges the established order, who questions the status quo, who is willing to take risks in order to change the world for the better. You, chosen one, are the true hero in this world. Your actions, though misunderstood, are part of a larger mission, a mission that serves the greater good. To fully embrace your role as the villain is to step into your power unapologetically. It's to trust that every challenge you face, every attempt to tear you down, is merely part of your transformation. You are the phoenix rising from the ashes, and each time you are misunderstood or vilified, you are reborn stronger, more powerful, and more aligned with your divine purpose. It is time to stop hiding from this role. Stop running from the judgment of others. Step into your power as the villain and allow that energy to fuel your growth. You are not here to be liked. You are here to be real, and in your authenticity, you will inspire others to do the same. So embrace your villain era, chosen one. Wear it as a crown. Let the world misunderstand you, for their misunderstanding is the fuel that propels you forward. You are the hero, and this is your journey. Trust it, walk it, and let no one tell you who you are or what you can be. In the end, you will see that the villain and the hero are not so different after all. They are both forces of change. They are both powerful beyond measure. And most importantly, they both carry the weight of the world on their shoulders, transforming it one step at a time. The power of solitude, finding strength in your own company. Chosen ones, there comes a time in every hero's journey when they must walk alone. It's in this solitude that your true power is found. In the quiet of your own presence, away from the noise and distractions of the world, you begin to understand who you really are, free from the influence of external opinions and expectations. Solitude is not loneliness. It is not isolation. It is the sacred space where your soul can commune with the divine, where your thoughts can become clear, and where you can recalibrate your purpose. It is in these moments of stillness that you begin to hear the whispers of your higher self, guiding you toward the next phase of your journey. Many fear solitude because it requires facing the self, confronting the parts of you that have been buried or neglected. It requires the courage to look inward, to be honest with yourself about your fears, your desires, and your wounds. But it is only by facing these aspects of yourself that you can heal and grow. As a chosen one, you are destined to be a trailblazer. But to blaze a trail, you must first have the clarity and vision to see where it leads. And this clarity can only come from moments of solitude. The noise of the world will try to drown out your inner voice, but when you retreat into silence, you are able to hear it clearly once again. Embrace the power of solitude, chosen one. It is in these moments that you will find the strength to face whatever comes next. When you learn to stand strong on your own, you become unstoppable because you no longer rely on the validation of others to feel whole. You are whole in your own company, and that is where your true power lies. Solitude is the crucible where your strength is forged. It is not a punishment, but a gift, a chance to reconnect with your soul and to deepen your connection with your purpose. Embrace it and let it transform you into the person you were always meant to become. The villain's wisdom, what your journey can teach you. Chosen ones, the journey of being misunderstood is not a journey of suffering, but a journey of learning and growth. Every experience of vilification, every projection placed upon you is a lesson in resilience, in strength, in understanding the depths of human nature. It is through these trials that you develop wisdom that others simply cannot attain unless they too walk the path of the misunderstood. The wisdom of the villain is often overlooked. Society has a narrow view of what it means to be a villain. We are taught that villains are evil, selfish, and destructive. But the truth is, villains often possess the greatest wisdom. They have seen the darkness of the world, they understand its workings, and they know the price of standing out, of challenging the norm. The villain is often the one who sees things others are too afraid to face. What does the villain know that the hero does not? The villain knows the value of pain. The villain knows the depth of betrayal and rejection. The villain understands what it feels like to stand alone, to be judged, and to be cast aside. And through this understanding, the villain develops an inner strength that few others can comprehend. As a chosen one, your journey mirrors that of the villain. You have felt the sting of rejection, the weight of judgment, the burden of standing out. But rather than allowing these experiences to break you, you have used them to build your strength. You have developed a wisdom that others can only dream of. Do not underestimate the value of your journey. The lessons you have learned from being misunderstood are the very lessons that will empower you to create change in the world. You are the one who has faced the darkness and come out the other side stronger, wiser, and more resilient. So, wear the wisdom of the villain as a badge of honor. You are not weak for being misunderstood. You are powerful because you have learned from it. And it is this wisdom that will guide you as you continue your journey, helping others to see the truth that lies beyond the surface. The awakening, embracing your full potential. Now that you have faced the projections, broken free from the illusions, and embraced your solitude and wisdom, it is time for the awakening, the moment when you step fully into your power as the chosen one. This is not just a mental shift, but a spiritual awakening, a recognition of who you truly are and the divine purpose you were meant to fulfill. The awakening is a profound moment when the veil is lifted and you begin to see the world in a new light. You realize that your journey has been leading you to this moment of realization, that you are not merely a victim of circumstances, not just a passive observer of the world. You are an active participant in the creation of your reality. You have the power to shape your future, to manifest your destiny, and to align with the divine purpose that has been laid out for you. This awakening is not easy. It requires you to shed all the false identities and narratives that have been imposed upon you. It requires you to step into your full authenticity, to embrace the truth of who you are, and to accept that your power is limitless. You may feel resistance as you confront the old patterns and beliefs that no longer serve you. But this resistance is simply the final test before you can fully embrace your higher self. As you awaken, you will find that the challenges you once faced no longer have the same power over you. You will no longer be triggered by the projections of others. You will no longer feel the need to prove yourself or seek validation. You will be fully aligned with your divine purpose, walking your path with confidence and grace. This is the moment when you realize that you are not just a chosen one, you are a force of nature, a divine being with the power to shape the world around you. Your awakening marks the beginning of a new chapter in your journey, one that is filled with limitless potential and opportunities. So, embrace this awakening, chosen one. Step fully into your power and begin to create the life you were always meant to live. The world is waiting for you to rise to your full potential, and now is the time to do so. Transcendence, the final transformation. Chosen ones, your journey does not end with awakening. It is merely the beginning of your transcendence, the final transformation into the highest version of yourself. This is the moment when you shed all remnants of your old identity and step into the fullness of your divine essence. Transcendence is about rising above the limitations of the ego, the fears, the doubts, and the false narratives that have been created around you. It is the moment when you no longer identify with the projections others place upon you, when you no longer let their fears dictate your reality. You become fully aligned with your higher self, fully connected to the divine source of all that is. This transformation is not something that happens overnight. It is a continuous process of evolution, a deepening of your understanding, and a continual shedding of the old to make room for the new. It is about embracing your divine power without hesitation, without fear, and without doubt. As you transcend, you will begin to see the world in a different light. You will recognize the interconnectedness of all things, and you will see that the struggles you once faced were not obstacles, but opportunities for growth. You will understand that everything that has happened in your life has led you to this moment of transcendence, and that you are now ready to fully step into your mission. This is the final phase of your journey, the moment when you realize that you are not just a chosen one, you are a divine being, an embodiment of light, love, and power. You are the creator of your reality, and now you are ready to fulfill your purpose and make your mark on the world. So, chosen one, transcend. Step into your divine power. Allow yourself to be fully transformed, fully awakened, and fully aligned with the divine. Your journey has brought you here, and now it is time for you to fulfill your destiny and shine your light brightly for the world to see. Conclusion: you are the hero of your own story. Chosen ones, as you reflect on this journey, remember that you are not the villain in anyone's story. You are the hero in your own. Every step you've taken, every projection you've faced, every challenge you've overcome has brought you closer to the person you were always meant to be. Embrace your journey with all its highs and lows, because each moment has shaped you into the powerful, wise being you are today. The world may misunderstand you, may try to label you, but you know the truth. You are the hero. You are the divine being destined to fulfill your mission and share your light with the world. So continue to walk your path with confidence and grace. Let go of the fear of judgment and the need to explain yourself to others. You are already enough. Chosen one, you always have been. And now it's time to step fully into your power. You are ready.